Hey, collective, it's Anne Marie. I hope all of you are doing well. I thought we'd pull some cards and get some messages of clarity for those of you who like it. We got a kind of a busy week, so I don't know what it's going to look like. Thank you to my high vibrating ancestral spirit guides, divine to being, source of light energy. Since we're talking about truth and justices, let's just see what the threads of karma want us to know, right? Thank you, ancestors, spirit guides. We get some messages of clarity for the collective. What does the collective need to know? Let's get a shuffle one. Okay, I guess we needed that card. Okay, it came out twice, so okay, I got you. Ooh. Yeah, it's time to heal some emotional trauma. Wah, wah, wah. Fun. You survived what hurt you. You did. I mean, you're here, right? You survived it. Now let the pain become the seed of wisdom, strength, and spiritual growth. There's a quote. It's a quote from Buddha, I believe. Don't mark my word, but it talks about the cracks. There's this beautiful. I forget. There's a lot of forgetting here, but there's a name for it. But when a pot breaks, when a vase breaks, a pottery vase, you can seal it up with gold, and it makes it a lot more beautiful. But it was the cracks in the vase that allowed the light to come in, and that's what this reminds me of. The cracks in the vase, the cracks, the trauma in your vessel is what is going to allow the light to shine through. That light's going to shine through, and it's going to illuminate paths for other people. This may be part of your mission. This may be part of your journey as well. Because this is, love without self-abandonment. You may have a lot of trauma regarding intimate connections. So this is love without self-abandonment. Real love doesn't ask you to disappear. Stay present, stay whole, and still be loved. She's going like this. Though there's two people in here, take what resonates. I am pulling on, this is about loving yourself. I'm always about loving yourself. and I kind of got a similar message when I pulled this card. And this could not even be in past romantic relationships. It could just be as a child or when you were growing up or even in adulthood, that you abandoned yourself for connections. You overgave. You people pleased. You said yes when you really wanted to say no. You didn't really want to disappoint people. And what do I always say? We stay in situations out of fear, obligation, or hope. Sometimes we stay around family members that are toxic for us in the past. Because we feel obligated to, right? That's our mother, that's our sister, that's, whoever, or an old friend, right? Or you may have been dating someone for a long time or married for so long, so you feel obligated, and you stay also for the hope, right? And the fear of what it would look like if you left the situation. So this talks a lot about healing the emotional trauma around when you abandon yourself for other people, whether it was romantically or friends, family, whatever this is. We're going to do a broad here. So take what resonates and leave the rest. So in what ways have you, and this is important to kind of take a look at, and I always like going back to my circle method. I've been using this method for 20, 30 years now, 25 years. Drawing a circle and put self-abandonment in there and draw lines. What are the ways? Not shaming yourself, not shaming yourself, not putting yourself down, not the negative self-talk, but just observantly write all the different times or different scenarios or situations or a generalized how you abandoned yourself. I said yes when I wanted to say no. I people pleased. I was in codependent relationships. I stayed in abusive relationships. I saw the red flags and I didn't follow the red flags, or whatever this is. It could be many things for you, right? And so as you look at each line, then take a look at that. Look at how have you changed now? How have you healed and grown from those emotional trauma wounds, right? And have you healed from those? There still may be some there you may not recognize. How do you currently show up in current connections? Again, whether it's romantic, friends, family, or whatever. Do you still go back when confronted with choosing yourself but you're afraid to speak up, so you just go along to get along, because that used to be me. I never would speak up, right? That's why I shock the fuck out of people now, because don't test me. But a lot of times we do that out of fear and of not loving ourselves, and fear of people leaving us, fear of people not accepting us and things like that. And the truth of the matter is, if someone truly cared and loved about you, they would accept you as you are. Now, if you're toxic and doing all kinds of fuck shit, no. I mean, so don't run with that. Take what resonates. So taking a look at, how have you abandoned yourself? Have you grown from that? When you're faced with adversity, or when you're faced with conflict, or I don't like the word conflict, but when you're faced when someone says, hey, we're having this thing, and you really don't want to go because maybe your abuser's there and your family doesn't give a shit. Like, no one talks about it, right? Everyone's hush-hush about it. But you go because you kind of feel obligated because it's the holidays and it's your family. But yet the whole time you're miserable. The whole time you're being triggered. Your sensors are just popping off left and right. Your energy's all over the place. And then when you respond, like you may, this used to be me. When you respond kind of crazy about something, people are like, why is she acting so crazy? Not realizing it's the position that they put you in. But we also have to take responsibility and hold ourselves accountable for the choices that we made for allowing ourselves to be put in those positions, right? It's not always about the other person. It's 9 times out of 10 about us. And it's not shaming ourselves for what we allowed in our lives. This is taking a look at, how have you abandoned yourself, and what trauma, emotional trauma, do you still carry around self-abandonment? Is there anything else we need to know about this moving forward? Where the time at? We were at 6:39. Yeah, because I just heard emotionally pours out. Like you may have been someone, or maybe this may be something to look at. This is interesting, that you like emotionally dump on people. You just tell everybody everything. I don't know, that may be a sign. What else do you need to know? Show me with the threads of karma. This may have been a cycle in your life. It says the cycle stops with you. You may have been taught that as an early age, as a child, to abandon yourself for the sake of others. Just go along to get along, like I said. My vision's going in and out again. And it's interesting because all of her... what's on here? All of her ancestors, or his or her ancestors, are all there, like watching, and it's like, it almost looks like a Celtic knot or something. Oh, it's like 8-8 though, and it's split in half. But it's like, you'll see the picture, but it's spreading it, or cracking it. You are the one your ancestors prayed for. You're the one your ancestors prayed for. They knew you had the courage and strength to get through this. They knew that you were the one out of all the bloodline to do this shit, right? And you're doing it. The pain ends in your hands. You can choose differently now. You are choosing differently now, right? It's like, I'm breaking this fucking cycle. And it's interesting because when I was talking to my aunt, when she was sharing some very sad things, just about my uncle was 7 years older than my dad. I wasn't going to share this, but whatever. And she shared, that my uncle told her many times that my dad often felt as though he was a burden and didn't want to bother people. So he kind of faded to black a lot. He thought he was, too much because of the age difference or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I used to feel like that all the time. I felt like that in many situations, especially as a child. I was the youngest of 4, right? And it was like a confirmation for me, like, yes, I'm the one who's breaking that feeling like you're a burden on people. Because a lot of people with a lot of trauma, we have been taught to feel like we're a burden. We feel like we're a burden on people. We don't want to ask for help. And that does stem from a lot of times we have asked for help. People failed us, right? And it wasn't because there was something wrong with us. It was because the people we were asking for help from. But anyway, so this cycle is stopping with you. So there is something here about your lineage, about your family, about cycles in your family of maybe your parents stayed married when they shouldn't have, right? Or staying in relationships, or staying at jobs, or staying places when it wasn't meant for you. And so that's what this is talking about. So how of ways have you abandoned yourself in the past, and how are you healing that emotional trauma? Because you're not just breaking this for you, you're breaking it for all these generations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 generations. They say 7, but it's 8. You're breaking this for 8 generations of individuals in your family that were held hostage by the times that they abandoned themselves for other people. The time is over. Chosen collective, you got this. I hope that you're healthy and happy. I truly do, and full of joy. May you love and be loved. Heal.